Chapter 9. How many qualia dimensions are there? How many unique ways can a thing be given subjective qualities? How can we economically condense the phenomenon of true qualia into the fewest number of meaningful components?
To answer these questions, I first went on a liquid-only fast for 42 straight days and nights. I climbed the tallest mountain in Fayetteville, Arkansas, every day. Upon the heights of Kessler Mountain on the 42nd day, I began to meditate to bring myself into a balanced state of mind. I reached absolute equilibrium in this meditative state, and I then asked Zildjian Nada,
How many ways can I describe you?
I heard the voice of Nada saying,
Nada says, go figure it out your damn self.
Suddenly, something like wisdom arose within me,
And I decided to go order a pizza. Then go home, get on my computer, and figure it out my damn self. Of course I didn't actually get an answer, and alcohol and soda count as liquids, so I'm pretty sure I gained weight on this hypothetical all-liquid diet. Pretty much anything can be turned into a liquid with a strong enough blender and some extra water on hand. In reality, I started to venture into Thesaurus and dictionary to try to distinguish how many subjective non-mathematical attributes we could potentially give to any real or imaginary thing. Early on this intellectual journey, I realized that my previous endeavors to discover the nature of the primary dimensions were handy. Surprisingly, a lot of the adjectives that are used to describe things are objective in nature. Fat and skinny, massive and ethereal, these are all descriptors of mass. Colors, contrast, and even the misconstrued magnetic directions of north, south, east, and west are all descriptors of electromagnetism. Top and bottom, left and right, inside and outside, these are all spatial descriptors. Sooner and later, daily and weekly, new and antique, these are all time descriptors. And even the secondary dimension of temperature had a lot of descriptors, like hot and cold. I simultaneously discovered that many adjectives can be used to casually explain mathematical claims. Greater and fewer, more and less. Even the numbers themselves are capable of being adjectives. Additionally, giving something the descriptor normal is a statistics claim of a thing being within one or two standard deviations of the average of the population. Being absent has implications in set theory that there is something missing from the whole set. And as similarly stated in Chapter 4, everything is the largest mathematical set that includes all of whatever is included as a thing, and nothing is the smallest mathematical set that is completely empty of all of whatever is included as a thing. Surprisingly, at this point, I had knocked out a lot of the adjectives. And from here on out, I will focus on the things that I do not believe can be entirely described by its objective and mathematical qualities, true qualia. There are three different kinds of variables that need to be asked for a qualia dimension, and we will answer these questions for the dimension of appeal, or conveniently worded here as beauty. 1. Am I describing the self or another? Are you claiming that something about yourself is beautiful, or are you claiming that something else is beautiful? Because beauty can be within, but it can also be outside the self. When it is within, we can attribute it to both the thoughts we entertain and our emotions. We can ask the additional question, 1a, am I describing a thought or an emotion? I think that I am beautiful versus I feel beautiful. Are you thinking yourself as pretty or something else pretty? If you are pretty, is it you feeling kind of pretty or are you just thinking you pretty? 2. Am I attributing this descriptor to the subject or to the object? If you claim the self is beautiful, emotions and ideas aside, do you refer to your appealing personality or to the aesthetically appealing body, or both? If you claim that something else is beautiful, is the perception of the personality attributed to the other thing attractive, or is there something physically attractive about the object, or both? A person can be ugly in object and beautiful in subject, like a sweet troll. And a person can be beautiful in object and ugly in subject, something like a handsome bully or a mean girl. But if something is both beautiful in object and subject, it is best to clarify that to be the case. As I said in my Christian upbringing about ideal mates, they are beautiful in both body and spirit. Is it the body that's pretty, or is it the spirit or the idea connected to the body that's pretty? 3. Can we give this qualia a mathematical range from -10 to +10, or just 0 to 10? This is more important for negatory or generally looked down upon qualia. Is the opposite of an idealistic 10 out of 10 beautiful thing a 0 out of 10 or -10 out of 10? This question can expand to shed light on a whole neutral set of adjectives that are neither positive nor negative, but are still claims of appeal. If something appealing is attractive, what number is attractive? Maybe +9 or +10? What number is unattractive? Maybe 0. And what number is repulsive? Maybe -9 or -10. The exact placing of these words on the number scale is highly subjective, but it can help distinguish that which is inoffensive, -1, from that which is appalling, -8, and that which is charming, +6, from that which is boring, 0. If something's pretty ugly, is it just pretty boring, 0?
Or pretty repulsive, -10.
I want you to be pretty specific so I know what you mean. Now that I have gone through all of these things to give us an idea on how to answer the question, how many qualia dimensions are there? I've got a confession to make. I totally gave up on completing this endeavor on my own. This is a way too big of a problem, and I need some genuine help to figure this out. I need a person or a group of people who are good at computer programming and data analysis to actually discover how many qualia dimensions there are. And honestly, this should be discovered by passionate etymological scientists. You see, there are thousands of adjectives in the English language, and some of those words can have multiple meanings, and some of those words can have hundreds of synonyms. A computer code should be created that can take a thesaurus, extract all of the adjectives, duplicate the adjectives where there are multiple meanings, and lump the same meaningful synonyms together to discover the smallest amount of qualitative factors that can be used to describe anything. So to end this chapter, and to not leave you completely dissatisfied with the yet-to-be-answered question, how many qualia dimensions are there? I'll share a few leads on qualia dimensions that I've been able to find so far. As said earlier, appeal is an obvious dimension. It ranges from pleasant to disgust, and from attraction to repulsion. Unappealing, unattractive, and inoffensive appear to be neutral on this scale. Utility is another big factor that arose from the data I placed before my eyes. It ranges from helpful to harmful, and from useful to malicious. Unhelpful, harmless, and useless appear to be neutral on this scale. I'm not sure where the pain and pleasure dichotomy fits in here, since pleasure more coincides with positive appeal, and pain coincides with negative utility. Perhaps accuracy will be a qualitative dimension which would range from true to false, and from valid to sinful. Maybe awareness to oblivious? Maybe order to chaos? We won't really know how many there are until the proper work is put in to find them. The point and conclusion of this chapter, for the intellectuals, is that I can comfortably hypothesize that there are not an infinite amount of qualia dimensions. I can guess that because there are not an infinite amount of adjectives, and I cannot wait until we find out the answer to all of these questions. 1. What is the fewest amount of dimensions that can be used to encompass and synonymize all of the adjectives of quality? 2. What percentage of the totality of the adjectives of quality are truly objective in nature, if any? 3. Are all of these objective adjectives correlatable with the 4 primary dimensions in some way? And 4. Are there any truly subjective dimensions, or do they all depend on the 4 primary dimensions to some degree? Basically, we need a factor analysis on all of the English adjectives of quality. As of the first publishing of this book, and the release of this audio version of this book, to the best of my knowledge, this has yet to be done.
Chill out, normies. I wasn't talking to you there. I consider the current edition of this book, The Normies Guide to the Theory of Nothing, to be version 1. Maybe the next book will be more knowingly called The Normies Guide to Dimensionalism, or something like that. I hope to make this chapter more precise in a future version whenever better knowledge is provided on this subject matter. Don't worry, you are still Purty. And this book is still for you.